and welcome to the Athletic Brewing post-race report for the Qatar Airways IRONMAN 70.3 Eagleman in Maryland, USA. It was the 9th stop and halfway in our Ironman Pro Series, and we had both the professional men and the professional women back racing. So it was a big race for this small town. I'm Laura Siddall, and let's catch up on all the racing action. Overcast skies and some winds already blowing those flags on race morning as our male pros got underway for the Roker swim, 1.2 miles in the Chop Tank River. The athletes would swim with the current on the way out and against the current on the way back to T1. A leading pair of Greg Harper and Ben Canute would break off the front. Harper swam at UC Berkeley and led out the water at the Ironman 70.3 World Championships last year. The Chop Tank River certainly providing some chop, and as the swim went on, Harper was able to break away from Canute in these choppy conditions. Harper would be first out, 23 minutes and 16 seconds, 20 seconds ahead of Canute. However, a quick transition from the American would see him erase that 20-second deficit and head out onto the Zoot bike course in first. This pair had over 2 minutes to the chasers at the start of the bike, this pancake flat and very fast course through the countryside surrounding Cambridge. Yet by mile 10, Canute was now the solo one out in front on his own. But the rest of the men behind him were coming, driven mainly by Sweden's Robert Kallen, but also a little further back, some decent bike power in the form of Sam Long, Trevor Foley, Cameron Worth, Jackson Laundrie were all together. It would take until about 2/3 of the way through the bike for anyone to catch Canute. Callan, Anthony Costas, Luke Jones all now at the front of the race, and shortly after this, Callan would make his move. Anthony Costas with those morph bars would try to cover the move but unsuccessfully. Not long after Callan rode off the front, a group of 8 men would come together, Sam Long charging. This group included the early leader Canute, as well as Foley, Laundrie and British athlete Matthew Collins. Laundrie and Long would do much of the work to try and contain Callan up the road. Callan was into T2, a new bike course record, 1 hour 54 minutes and 32 seconds, and over 2 minutes ahead of the Sam Long chase pack. For Callan, who finished 7th at the Ironman Pro Series last year, and his run being as the lesser of his 3 disciplines, it would only be a matter of time before he would be caught. And this happened around 4 miles into the run. Sam Long charging to overtake. But Long wasn't alone. He had Trevor Foley for company. And not only that, Callan wasn't giving up easily either. Let the foot race begin. Sitting in 5th and 6th, Canute and Laundrie were also running hard to bridge the gap up to the front again on this pancake flat course. Long and Foley finally able to break Callan running shoulder to shoulder until the 9-mile marker where Long made his move, the gorilla chest beating as promised for his son Leo, taking the win. Trevor Foley, after a slow start to the year, was able to get back on the podium to finish in 2nd. And the Briton Matthew Collins, a breakout performance in 3rd. So the result, Sam Long takes the win, a run course record and overall record 3:36 and 50, a 1:10.49 run. Foley in 2nd, Colin in 3rd, the best result for his career to date. Robert Callan had a bike course record in 4th. Laundrie, Jones, Canute, Costas, Schuster, Wolf all in the top 10. And in our overall Ironman Pro Series rankings, well, we have a new leader. Cameron Worth is now leading the Ironman Pro Series, a 10th at Eagleman, and points from 4 races puts him just 53 points ahead of Blumenfeld. Blumenfeld just 3 races scoring so far. Paul Schuster, 9th at Eagleman, moves up 10 places to 6th, and Ben Canute, 7th at Eagleman, moves him into the top 10 in 8th. And so to our professional women. Well, the women would dive into the brackish water of the Chop Tank River, again, still under those overcast skies. And it was really no real surprise that Lucy Charles-Barclay was soon at the front of the swim and swimming away. But she had company. Margarita Ryan in her first pro race. Ryan swam at Virginia Tech, mainly in the backstroke. There is something about backstrokers moving to triathlon. I note Dee Dee Griesbauer, Julie Dibbons. Again, choppy conditions making it tough. Ryan throwing in a few backstrokes, perhaps to confirm or check if anyone else was there or just to reset. She said post-race the swim was fairly easy. Although Ryan would lead some of the latter stages of the swim, it was Charles-Barclay who was first out the water, but an absolutely ecstatic Ryan right behind her, to the huge cheers of the crowd. Grace Alexander and Chelsea Sodaro would be next out of the water, this pair 2 minutes down from the lead. Almost immediately on the bike, Charles-Barclay was solo off the front. Ryan perhaps still celebrating her swim, not able to hang with Lucy's pace. Charles-Barclay in her first Ironman 70.3 since May 2023, but coming off the back of a win at Ironman Lanzarote, was now back in familiar territory, out front and solo. The chasers, the first chase pack, Sodaro and Alexander, moving through some of the pro men, and behind this pair was Lisa Beccaris, also moving well. Beccaris has a busy schedule at the start of the year. Oceanside, St. George, the US National Time Trial Champs, which she finished 5th, San Francisco, now Eagleman, and Vancouver next week. And then some time off for her wedding, I hope. Alice Alberts was with Beccaris. Alberts actually winning here in Ironman Maryland in 2023, which announced her arrival on the pro scene. Charles-Barclay would have a lead of just under 3 minutes as she entered into T2 and start out on the Hoka run. Sodaro charged out of T2, chasing hard to catch Charles-Barclay. Sodaro hasn't had the start to the year she would want, a DNS in Texas due to sickness and a DNF at St. George, but was certainly making this race count, reducing the deficit to Lucy Charles-Barclay to 70 seconds by 10 miles on the run, and certainly wanting to put her form to the test. Grace Alexander, who won Ironman 70.3 Chattanooga a few weeks ago, had moved into third and was holding strong. While Sodaro pushed the pace early on the run, she actually forced Lucy Charles-Barclay to react and up her tempo. Charles-Barclay increasing the pace, taking out the Ironman 70.3 Eagleman title, another title to her many. Chelsea Sodaro, her 2025 season now officially underway, in second, kisses perhaps to her daughter Skylar at the finish, and Grace Alexander, another fantastic podium in third. And so to our top 10, well, it was a course record and a first for Lucy Charles-Barclay, Chelsea Sodaro in second, Grace Alexander in third. The fastest run of the day, Daniela Kleiser at 1:15.24, would run herself from 8th up to 4th, and Lisa Beccaris in 5th, Alice Alberts in 6th. And there was no change at the top of the overall Ironman Pro Series ranking for the women's. Anne Reichman, Kat Matthews, Danielle Lewis all still in 1, 2 and 3. But Albert 6 at Eagleman jumps her 9 spots to enter the top 10 in 6th place, and Lisa Beccaris 5th place moves her up and into 10th. This has been the Athletic Brewing post-race report. We'll see you next time for the Cairns Airport Ironman Cairns.